rocks which would not repeat the Latin it gave them to do. Here she saw a huge whale, who said to her, "My pretty maiden, what go you seeking?" And she replied, "I am seeking the dwelling of the Mother of Time." "Hear then what you must do," replied the whale. "Go straight along this shore, and on coming to the first river, follow it up to its source, and you will meet with some one who will show you the way. But do me one kindness. When you find the good old woman, beg of her the favour to tell me some means by which I may swim about safely, without so often knocking upon the rocks and being thrown on the sands." "Trust to me," said Cianna. Then thanking the whale for pointing out the way, she set off walking along the shore, and after a long journey she came to the river, which like a clerk of the treasury was dispersing silver money into the bank of the sea. Then taking the way up to its source, she arrived at a beautiful open country, where the meadow vied with the heaven, displaying her green mantle starred over with flowers. And there she met a mouse, who said to her, "Whither are you going thus alone, my pretty girl?" And Cianna replied, "I am seeking the Mother of Time." "You have a long way to go," said the mouse, "but do not lose heart, everything has an end. Walk on, therefore, toward yon mountains, which, like the free lords of these fields, assume the title of Highness, and you will soon have more news of what you are seeking. But do me one favour. When you arrive at the house you wish to find, get the good old woman to tell you what you can do to rid us of the tyranny of the cats. Then command me, and I am your slave." Cianna, after promising to do the mouse this kindness, set off towards the mountains, which, although they appeared to be close at hand, seemed never to be reached. But having come to them at length, she sat down tired out upon a stone, and there she saw an army of ants, carrying a large store of grain, one of whom turning to Cianna said, "Who art thou? Whither art thou going?" And Cianna, who was courteous to every one, said to her, "I am an unhappy girl, who, for a matter that concerns me, am seeking the dwelling of the Mother of Time." "Go on farther," said the ant, "and where these mountains open into a large plain, you will obtain more news. But do me a great favour. Get the secret from the old woman, what we ants can do to live a little longer. For it seems to me a folly in worldly affairs to be heaping up such a large store of food for so short a life, which, like an auctioneer's candle, goes out just at the best bidding of years." "Be at ease," said Cianna. "I will return the kindness you have shown me." Then she passed the mountains and arrived at a wide plain, and proceeding a little way over it, she came to a large oak tree, a memorial of antiquity, whose fruit, a mouthful which time gives to this bitter age of its lost sweetness, tasted like sweetmeats to the maiden, who was satisfied with little. Then the oak, making lips of its bark and a tongue of its pith, said to Cianna, "Whither are you going so sad, my little daughter? Come and rest under my shade." Cianna thanked him much, but excused herself, saying that she was going in haste to find the Mother of Time. And when the oak heard this, he replied, "You are not far from her dwelling, for before you have gone another day's journey, you will see upon a mountain a house in which you will find her whom you seek. But if you have as much kindness as beauty, I prithee learn from me what I can do to regain my lost honour. For instead of being food for great men, I am now only made the food of hogs." "Leave that to me," replied Cianna. "I will take care to serve you." So saying she departed, and walking on and on without ever resting, she came at length to the foot of an impertinent mountain, which was poking its head into the face of the clouds. There she found an old man, who, wearied and wayworn, had lain down upon some hay, and as soon as he saw Cianna, he knew her at once, and that it was she who had cured his bump. When the old man heard what she was seeking, he told her that he was carrying to Time the rent for the piece of earth which he had cultivated, and that Time was a tyrant who usurped everything in the world, claiming tribute from all, and especially from people of his age. And he added that, having received kindness from Cianna, he would now return it 100-fold by giving her some good information about her arrival at the mountain, and that he was sorry he could not accompany her thither, since his old age, which was condemned rather to go down than up, obliged him to remain at the foot of those mountains, to cast up accounts with the clerks of Time, which are the labours, the sufferings, and the infirmities of life, and to pay the debt of nature. So the old man said to her, "Now, my pretty, innocent child, listen to me. You must know that on the top of this mountain you will find a ruined house, which was built long ago, time out of mind. The walls are cracked, the foundations crumbling away, the doors worm-eaten, the furniture all worn out, and, in short, everything is gone to rack and ruin. On one side are seen shattered columns, on another broken statues, and nothing is left in a good state except a coat of arms over the door, quartered on which you will see a serpent biting its tail, a stag, a raven, and a phoenix. When you enter, you will see on the ground fowls, saws, scythes, sickles, pruning hooks, and hundreds of vessels full of ashes, with the names written on them, like gallipots in an apothecary's shop. And there may be read Corinth, Saguntum, Carthage, Troy, and 1,000 other cities, the ashes of which time preserved as trophies of his conquests. When you come near the house, hide yourself until time goes out, and as soon as he has gone forth, enter, and you will find an old woman, with a beard that touches the ground, and a hump reaching to the sky. Her hair, like the tail of a dapple grey horse, covers her heels. Her face looks like a plaited collar, with the folds stiffened by the starch of years. The old woman is seated upon a clock, which is fastened to a wall, and her eyebrows are so large that they overshadow her eyes, so that she will not be able to see you. As soon as you enter, quickly take the weights off the clock, then call to the old woman, and beg her to answer your questions, whereupon she will instantly call her son to come and eat you up. But the clock upon which the old woman sits, having lost its weights, her son cannot move, and she will therefore be obliged to tell you what you wish. But do not trust any oath she may make, unless she swears by the wings of her son, and you will be content." So saying, the poor old man fell down and crumbled away, like a dead body brought from a catacomb to the light of day. Then Cianna took the ashes, and mixing them with a pint of tears, she made a grave and buried them, praying heaven to grant them quiet and repose. And ascending the mountain till she was quite out of breath, she waited until Time came out, who was an old man with a long beard, and who wore a very old cloak covered with slips of paper, on which were worked the names of various people. He had large wings, and ran so fast that he was out of sight in an instant. When Cianna entered the house of his mother, she started with affright at the sight of that black old chip, and instantly seizing the weights of the clock, she told what she wanted to the old woman, who, setting up a loud cry, called to her son. But Cianna said to her, "You may butt your head against the wall as long as you like, for you will not see your son whilst I hold these clock weights." Thereupon the old woman, seeing herself foiled, began to coax Cianna, saying, "Let go of them, my dear, and do not stop my son's course, for no man living has ever done that. Let go of them, and may heaven preserve you, for I promise you, by the acid of my son, with which he corrodes everything, that I will do you no harm." "That's time lost," answered Cianna. "You must say something better if you would have me quit my hold." "I swear to you by those teeth which gnaw all mortal things, that I will tell you all you desire." "That is all nothing," answered Cianna, "for I know you are deceiving me." "Well then," said the old woman, "I swear to you by those wings which fly over all, that I will give you more pleasure than you imagine." Thereupon Cianna, letting go the weights, kissed the old woman's hand, which had a mouldy feel and a nasty smell. And the old woman, seeing the courtesy of the damsel, said to her, "Hide yourself behind this door, and when Time comes home, I will make him tell me all you wish to know. And as soon as he goes out again, for he never stays quiet in one place, you can depart. But do not let yourself be heard or seen, for he is such a glutton that he does not spare even his own children, and when all fails, he devours himself, then springs up anew." Cianna did as the old woman told her, and lo, soon after Time came flying, quick, high and light, and having gnawed whatever came to hand, down to the very mouldiness upon the walls, he was about to depart, when his mother told him all she had heard from Cianna, beseeching him by the milk she had given him to answer exactly all her questions. After 1,000 entreaties her son replied, To the tree may be answered that it can never be prized by men so long as it keeps treasures